So, and for a lot of those kids, like you said, it is fatal. A lot of kids don't make it through that. So just to take our time out, man, that day and hang out with those kids, and like to us, I mean, we're nobody right now, but it was just really cool to hang out with them and to see them smile.
I beg to differ on that, and I hate when bands say that in a way, because there's a million people out there that don't have the guts to go up on stage, let alone sing or perform, and let alone to do it every day, and you have to deal with all the the good and all the drama that comes along with it. And I really commend any artist that goes on stage and does that, and especially those that work their tail off and get awards locally or whatever, and then get to work with a Grammy award winner producers and everything. That says a lot.
Well, thanks, man. We really appreciate that. We're really blessed, I guess is probably the better word for it, to get to do what we love every day and to work with the people that we've been blessed to work with. So, yeah, man, thanks. We appreciate that.
Not a problem. Just honest. So, do you all write your songs? And if you do, where do they come from?
We actually we didn't write anything off of our first record, but the songwriting gods just kind of smiled down on us for that, because our producer Mark Fain, he kind of pitched us some stuff that some of his friends had wrote, and songs that people hadn't released yet. So and it was a long process. We went through probably about 300 or 400 songs to get down to the final 13 that we wanted to actually cut, and we had to make sure that they were relatable to us, and also songs that we thought would be relatable to everybody else. So I think that's what country music is your life lived out through a song. So
and even though some of these songs are from other people, it is hard to to get an emotion or the right feeling to do a song. It's not as easy as picking up a piece of paper and be like, all right, yeah, I'm going to sing this.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So what kind of crowds?
Say what? Now say again. You broke up a little bit.
I apologize. What kind of crowds do you all like to play for?
What kind of crowds?
Oh, well, gosh. I mean, any good country music crowd is great. We sung for a lot of different people over the course of how long we've been doing it, and I mean, it never gets old. I mean, it kind of goes back to what I said a while ago. Anytime you have the opportunity to connect with someone like that and share a moment with anybody, I mean, be it a room of 20 people or a stadium of 40,000 people, it's just an amazing thing that you can do, is to share yourself in that way with an audience. There's just nothing like it. So favorite, I don't know. I mean, that would be a very hard thing, because when you're in the smaller venues, you kind of have the more intimate feel with the people in that room, but then the energy of a large crowd is amazing too. So that would be personally hard for me to choose a favorite. So I don't know about Stefan. Are you kind of the same way there?
Yeah. What she said.
He said what she said.
So how does it feel to be over on Pandora? Because a lot of indie artists are not.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. There's a whole submission process that you have to send to Pandora, and our record label sent in our CD, and they, before we knew it, they were saying we had been accepted and all of that. So that another just awesome thing that has happened. It's amazing that we're being played on Pandora, and when you go and you listen to our station, we're mixed in there with Little Big Town and Lady Antebellum and Rascal Flights, and so it's incredible to be in that kind of company. I just can't imagine, why they're throwing us in there, but they chose to. So that's amazing.
We won't complain.
No, we're not complaining.
All right. Who came up with the fact of the thunder on that song? It's getting ready to rain.
Oh, actually, our engineer who mixed our record, Brent King. Brent has worked with, a lot of country artists in Nashville. Brad Paisley, Johnny Cash. Just the list goes on and on. I think Martina McBride was on his list of clients, and he is just very talented. He came up with that effect, and that was actually the first song he mixed that he sent to us when we were approving all of that, and it just blew us away. It's a different idea, for how to start a song. It was cool. We loved it.
Yeah. It so reminded me when I actually moved out here to, Tennessee, how the storms are. I mean, because I'm originally, from Connecticut, and we get some bad storms, but they're not like lightning storms. Out here, it looks like there's a fireworks display going on.
Yeah. That's how we do it in the South.
There you go. All right, so what would you say is each of y'all's favorite song that you've done and why?
Favorite song on the record?
I would have to say Waiting on Me is probably my favorite. And it's kind of a guy song, talking about how, the girl in the relationship in the song is always waiting on him to commit and I guess man up in the relationship, so to speak. So it's kind of relatable to all guys in general. And man, the harmonies we got to do on that, I love the harmonies. And yeah, that's probably my favorite.
And I know Matt couldn't be here, but I know his favorite song is Lighthouse. He's a big fan of Jason Aldean and Brantley Gilbert, and he likes a lot of the driving kind of rock country stuff. So he got to kind of feed that monster on that song a little bit, and when we do it live, he just feels that song. He loves that song, and the words to it fit him, and how he feels about things. So I know that's what he would say his favorite is. As for me, I would probably pick Even Now as being my favorite song that I kind of connect to the most, because anybody who's ever been in a relationship knows the struggles of a relationship and communication and all of that stuff, and what you want to do is just get even with the person, but not necessarily that's the best thing to do. And that song, just the way that it twists the lyrics around, and even though you're trying to get even and you may not like the person and you have trouble, you still want to be together, and you just want to be even, so and start over. So I would pick that one myself.
Nice. So who are y'all's musical influences? And who would you tour with if you had a chance to? Who would you like to open up for?
My musical influences, I grew up on Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw, and I'm a '90s kid, so that's kind of who I was raised up on in country music, and that's how I fell in love with country. So Garth Brooks, Tim McGraw, and I'm a big Rascal Flatts fan. I'll tell you who has really shot to the top of my list lately is Florida Georgia Line. Man, everything they put out is amazing to me. Their songwriting and their music, and I love it. So yeah, that's probably my top artist inspiration.
As for me, I guess, gosh, I am the kind of person that I just listen to all kinds of music. You hear the way I talk, so I can only sing country. But I love all kinds of music. I mean, my first influences was actually with gospel music. My dad loved the old quartet style of singing, and so growing up, I listened to a lot of that. You know, I like Aerosmith and Martina McBride and Celine Dion and Boyz II Men, and I mean, you just throw it all in there. And I think, you know, that's what makes Dixie Still music so cool. We try to take elements of all that music that we love and kind of do a country version of all that. So, you know, we try to kind of mix it up and still be true to who we are.
And as far as who we would like to open up for, you know, inspiration-wise, of course, you know, Rascal Flatts would be huge for me. They're great on stage and live, and Lady Antebellum would be great. You know, we share sort of a similar style, I guess. But what do you think as far as opening up?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many talented country artists. I don't know who I would pick. I would just be honored to be with anybody, you know, on tour or open up for anybody. We actually recently got to open up for Joe Diffie. I don't know if you remember Joe. You know, he was a pickup man, but you know that was awesome to be able to share the stage with somebody like that who's had all the success he's had. And I mean anybody. We would love to be on the same stage with any of today's country artists.
So what's the greatest compliment you've gotten so far from a band?
Probably, we had somebody we've had a couple people come up and just tell us how real they believe we are. And, you know, that's the biggest thing for us. We don't want to be a copycat artist. We want to stand out and definitely be different and do our own thing. And so, yeah, the fact that we're real and we're true to who we are, that's probably the biggest compliment for us.
Nice. And have you gotten a fan, you know, that said, you know, your music really impacted their life? And if you have, what way?
Most recently, I'll take this one. Most recently, and it just kind of moved me to almost 2 years ago today. I got a email from a lady in Minnesota who has a son with autism, and they had found us on Facebook or some means of social media, and her son just kept listening to the song Dark Horse I was telling you a while ago, and you know, she was talking about, you know, all the struggles that they had been through and that they had kind of adopted that song as his theme song for their family. And, you know, I can't remember how old she said he was now, but, you know, he's had to go to a lot of special schools and you know, study with teachers one-on-one to get him where he needs to be. And he's very socially awkward. You know, he don't want to be around other kids or do a lot of the things that kids do, but he loves to hunt. And he actually shot his first turkey last week, and she had written to tell us about it and what a big accomplishment that was for him. And so, you know, the fact that our song and our music had touched that family in that way was amazing.
Wow. So, what do y'all have upcoming? What are y'all currently working on, and what do fans have to look forward to?
Well, we're going to Nashville in a couple weeks. We're going to do a showcase out there. There's a wing place here in our area called Wild Wing Cafe. I'm not sure if they have those out your way, Ray, or not, but we've kind of got on a circuit with them, doing a little tour with the Wild Wing Cafes in our area, so we're doing that. we're working with several different booking agencies, just getting us in different kind of fairs and festivals and that kind of thing coming up for 2015. So hopefully we'll be